Hey, everybody, this is Emar Substituto Sports Inquirer, and we're joined by Paola Pimentel from Georgia Tech Volleyball. Thank you for joining us. The team is off to an undefeated start through its first three weekends of play. How has the team been able to do so well and get off to such a good beginning?
Well, thank you so much for having the time to speak with me today. And first, I just feel like we're playing together. We love the game, we're doing our best, and obviously we're seeing the results on the court, but we work really hard and working together to achieve the same goal. It's just so fun to do.
Yeah, and talking with Coach earlier this week, Coach Collier, or just earlier in the season, a lot of turnover on the roster. Some freshmen transfers into the program. You're a returning veteran. How have you been able to help the new players or get acclimated into the program?
Well, I've been in their position before. I transferred here 2 years ago right before we got to the Elite Eight. So I've been through the same adaptation, like the same situation that they've been going right now. So we just told them what are our values, how do we want to play, and obviously they play good, like they have a good technique, like all that. So it just like matched our way to play volleyball, and it was basically just having even Larissa as a freshman from Brazil. Like she knows the way we play volleyball. She knows how we attack the ball, like all that. And Liv that played us before in ACC, like D coming from the national championship team and like all that. That was really important for us to be the team we are right now.
Yeah, and then you individually, you're among the nation's leaders in digs per set and in the ACC. What about your individual play, and what did you work on in the off season just to do well and be successful on the defensive end as the libero?
Yeah, well, it just gets harder after people watch you play for 2 years now. And so I've been working on obviously like my own things like passing and defense. I gotta be leading the back row. I gotta be the first one to like be on and covering. So then like my teammates can be around me and see me as an example. So I've been really working on the little things and trying to lead by as an example for the new girls, for like the new liberos there. That's my last year playing, so someone is gonna have to take the lead next year. So I just want to leave my legacy.
Yeah, and you're a fifth year senior. You came back for another year. What led to that decision to come back to the Yellow Jackets?
Well, obviously last year wasn't the results we were expecting, and I just had bigger goals. I feel like we can do so much better. I feel like I didn't do my best last year and I just couldn't finish that way. There was a lot more to achieve, a lot more to set as a goal. And I just trusted the program so much. And I feel like this year is a special year. We have a great group and I can't wait to see what we're gonna do.
What are the goals for this season? What are some tangible things that you've looked at and or that you want to achieve on an individual level and as a team?
Yeah, what I look is as 2021 season as the minimum. So Elite Eight is like we've been there, we've done that, and that's the minimum we can do. So we're looking ahead of this. So definitely like Final Four, final like the game, the championship game, like that's our goal. But first, our small goals are winning the ACC. We've finished third, I think, last year or fourth. Even I think we're behind Miami, and that wasn't that's not like acceptable for like a team that worked so hard as we do. So this year we just really want to focus on winning the ACC and going to the national championship with like a good rank and being able to face like even harder teams.
Yeah, you mentioned you so you acknowledge those high expectations. Some teams like to avoid that, but talking to Michelle in the past, it seems like you do acknowledge wanting to be at a championship level, competing for them. Is that just the approach to team to not avoid that distraction, but just to embrace it, that pressure of being a championship team?
Yeah, like obviously there's a lot of small wins and the on the way there. Like that's the final goal. But every game matters. Like every game is a different opportunity for us to work on our things that are gonna lead us to achieve those goals. So yeah, definitely that just makes us even more excited about it. It's not something that holds us back. No.
Yeah, and this weekend you have your first set of home matches of the regular season, starting off Friday night at home against your rival Georgia at the McCamish, the big arena, the basketball arena. What's that? You experienced that last year, but now you're going back this time against Georgia. What's that experience like for you to play in that atmosphere, and now this year facing your big rival?
Well, obviously O'Keefe is such a great atmosphere to play, like one of the best gyms that everyone say that one of the even like harder gyms to play against. So playing at McCamish just makes it even like broader. Like people we can have more fans. Like we see like the amount of people that are supporting us, like how big our program could be. So just making this turning like the volleyball like making it become like a bigger thing in the school, like that's really important for us. So yeah, I'm just excited for the feeling that we had like playing a bigger gym, like the obviously like the it's harder because we're not used to it, that's not where we practice every day, but we're very excited about the atmosphere and the fans, like just playing for them, like having the band there, everything.
How do you prepare for that arena? Obviously, during your non-home games, you do play in some basketball arenas, but now you're playing at McCamish. Like, how do you prepare for that? And just practicing. How helpful was it to be under last year and now doing it again this year? Is that beneficial to you and your teammates to have that experience?
Yeah, definitely. I try to focus on the little things. There's a lot going on in a big gym. There's the fans, there's like people cheering. You cannot hear that much as you hear in O'Keefe. So sometimes the court just becomes like quiet and a little bit. So I try to keep my mind like in the right path and just say like one point at a time, like try to focus and refocus like every single point. And obviously just feel the vibe coming from them and like embrace it, just play hard.
Yeah, and just one more thing, we were talking off camera. You have multiple last names because I was doing some research on your social media, and one of them has it has another one. We have Pimentel. Obviously, you go in the United States. Just what's that breakdown and like for you, and how does that work, just in general?
How does that work to have three last names?
Yeah, with three last names, and just what's the
It's
is that typical? Is that a Brazilian or South American
yeah.
approach, or just your family has three last names? Like, how does
No,
that
in
work for you?
Brazil, well, in Brazil it's very common to like get both your parents' last names. So I
Okay.
have two last names from my dad and one from my mom. So like that's why I have three overall. But it's just funny because everywhere I go here, obviously with my passport, people look around, they're like, "Oh my God, like which one do you use?" And I was like, I've never thought about it because it's so normal. And then here, like everyone's very always surprised when they see it.
Yeah, that's pretty wild overall. But yeah, it was very unique perspective. But yeah, but thank you for your time. Thank you for speaking with us, and hopefully we'll be able to catch up later on in the season as you get further along.
Yes, thank you so much.